Hello and welcome to How to Pass Numerical Reasoning Tests Part 2 with me, Tim, from GradTests. So this is the second video in a series, and here we're going to take you through 5 worked questions, and these are all taken from GradTests. And what you're going to get here is a great insight into the most common tricks, tips, and patterns you're likely to see when you take SHL numerical reasoning tests. If after this video finishes you're still after some more practice, then I suggest you go to gradtest.com.au and you can unlock 150 practice numerical reasoning questions there if you get a subscription. So let's dive straight into it. So the question we're going to work through here, if you look at the tables on the left-hand side, looks to be about a business selling a bunch of different products. And these two tables look pretty similar, but if you look closely, you'll see there's a couple of key differences. So in the first table, it's referring to the Australian store, and the numbers are in Australian dollars. And you can also see, crucially, at the bottom of the first table, there's a couple of asterisks, and it indicates what they mean. So there's one asterisk next to a product code. It means you get 3 for the price of 2. And if there are 2 asterisks, you get 4 for the price of 3. If you look at the second table, it's very similar, same products, same kind of information, but you'll see the currency is pounds instead of dollars, and there's no special offers. Okay, so they're the kind of crucial details you want to immediately pick up when you get a numerical reasoning test. So the first question says, the customer bought 6 units of AB12 and 12 units of DE25. How much will they pay in total in Australian dollars? And it even gives you a hint there, including any discounts on offer. Even if it didn't include that last bit in the sentence, you should still be incorporating the discounts. So AB12, you can see, attracts a discount as a 3 for the price of 2 offer. And DE25 also attracts a discount. There's the special offer of 4 for the price of 3. Let's go to the next page where we can just see a bit of working. So break it down product by product. So the first unit of AB12, or one unit of AB12 I should say, normally costs $200, but if you buy 3 you get them for the price of 2. So in other words, you could get 3 for $400. So you could double that and you'd get 6 for the price of 4, basically, which is $800. And then for the other product, D25, the unit price of that normally is $260, but they have that special offer whereby if you buy 4, you get them for the price of 3. So in other words, you could get 4 for $780. Therefore, you could probably get 12 for $2,340, which is just 3 times the price that you got the 4 for. So the total cost for buying all those units of AB12 and D25, just add together the two amounts there, $3,140. So we just flick back to our options here. That was the third one. That was option C. Okay. So flying on to the next question. At the English stores, which product sold the most number of units? So if it's the English stores, we're looking at the second table. And you'll see the table doesn't directly give you the number of units sold. What it does give you, though, is the sales revenue and the unit price. So you should be able to back out the number of units sold from those two pieces of information. And here's how you do it. So if you think about it, revenue is just price times quantity, or the price of one unit multiplied by the number of units. So if you can do some very, very basic maths in your head, that must mean the number of units is the revenue divided by the price. Just think of a basic equation. So then what I've got here below is the first table replicated, but with an additional column on the right. I've got the implied units sold, and that is simply revenue divided by unit price. So you'll see there, scrolling down, that BR54 clearly has the highest number of units sold. So in an actual test, you could go through and plug these numbers into a spreadsheet or into a calculator and do them all. But this is one of those situations where I strongly suggest you just scroll down, and instead of explicitly doing all the calculations, you should be able to roughly do them in your head. And all you're going to be doing is dividing the revenue number by the unit price. Should be pretty obvious that BR54, 120,000 divided by 100, is going to give you the highest number. So that one should be pretty straightforward. So the answer there was BR54, it was B. Okay, on to the next question. If the exchange rate was 65 pence buys $1 Australian, then what was the total difference in sales revenue, expressed in British pounds, between the English stores and the Australian stores, specifically for products either with an A or a 1 in the code? So which are those products? So AB12, AB14, and CF11. They're the three products that have either an A or a 1 in the code. That's the first thing you need to note. Now, we're given the sales revenue figures for all those products, but what we're going to have to do though is exchange the Australian dollar amount to British pounds or vice versa. So we're going to have to get all the sales in a common currency. So let's have a look at the working on the next page. So we're going to convert the Australian stores values into British pounds, and we're only going to do it for the three products in question. There's no point wasting time doing the calculation for BR54 and DE25 because they're not part of the question. Remember, this is only pertaining to products that had either an A or a 1 in the product code. So an example calculation for AB12 is you take the Australian dollar amount, which is 50,000, it's $50,000 worth of sales, and then we were given the exchange rate of 65 pence buys $1 Australian. So to convert those $50,000 into British pounds, you just multiply by 0.65, and that gives you £32,500. You'd have to repeat the same trick for AB14 and CF11, and then you want to find the difference between the Australian sales in pounds and the English sales in pounds. So for AB12, if we just go back to our original table here, you'll see that the English store sold £90,000 worth, and we've just seen the Australian store sold the equivalent of £32,500 worth. Therefore, the English store outsold the Australian store by £57,500. Go through and repeat that exact calculation for AB14 and CF11, and then basically sum up those numbers. You'll find that the total difference is 31,300, and remember, we're expressing this in pounds. So go back to the answers here. The correct answer was the first one, A, £51,300. Okay, moving on. The target sales revenue for products CF11 and AB14 across both English and Australian stores was $120,000. Was this target met, and if so, by how much was it surpassed? If not, by how much was the target missed? Assume again the exchange rate is, that should say 65 pence buys $1 Australian, so the original exchange rate. So again, we need to just concentrate on two products here, CF11 and AB14. And because we're trying to do something across both stores, we're going to have to get a common currency again. So because the target is in Australian dollars, we should convert the English store sales into Australian dollars. So everything is in a common currency, it's all going to be in Australian dollars, and we can make an easy comparison. So let's do that. So we've got all the working here, and we've got some of the inputs as well, just so it's all on the same page. So remember, the sales target was 120k Australian dollars. The exchange rate was 65 pence buys $1 Australian. So firstly, for CF11, well, the sales in Australia are already in Australian dollars. That's $12,000, so you don't have to do anything there. So now we need to take these sales in England in pounds, convert them to dollars. So we would do that by taking the £9,020 and dividing by 0.65. So don't make probably what would be the most common mistake here and multiplying by 0.65. Remember, we're converting from pounds to dollars here. So we're going to divide by 0.65. And then for AB14, the sales in Australia were $42,000. We don't have to do anything there because it's already in dollars. And then converting the British pounds amount, we just again divide the 19,880 by 0.65, and that gives us the $30,000. So then sum up all these amounts. So we've got the 12,000, the 13,000, the 19,000, and the 12,000, the 13,000, the 42,000, and the 30,000. That gives you the 98k Australian dollars in total. So remember, we're trying to compare this to the sales target of $120,000. So we've clearly fallen short of that. We've missed out by about 21,000 Australian dollars. So make sure you don't fall at the final hurdle here, because go back to the answer options. You'll see A is 21,538. That's exactly what we calculated. But be very careful here, because you'll see option B, which is £14,000. That is actually the same amount as $21,538 once you convert it using that exchange rate. So expressed in either dollars or pounds, both A and B are true. We missed the target by that amount. So the most correct answer is the final one. Both A and B are correct. Okay. And the final question we're going to go through here is, assuming an Australian customer uses special offer prices available, rank the per unit prices of each product from most expensive to least expensive. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the top table here, because that's the Australian table. And AB14 and CF11 are simple because we've got their unit prices there as $180 and $300, and there's $220 and $300. We don't have to do anything to those prices because they're already set. They don't have any special offer or anything like that. We just have to find the effective price of the other products. So that's exactly what this table is doing here. So AB12, remember the special offer there was that you got 3 for the price of 2. So the effective, if you want to call it that, the effective unit price of AB12 is $133. For BR54 and D25, they also have that special promotion where you can buy 4 units for the price of 3. So as an example, the effective price of D25 would be $260, which is its standard unit price, multiplied by 3, divided by 4, gives you $195. So multiplying by 3, because you would have to buy 3 in order to get the 4. And we divide by 4 because we're trying to find the effective unit price. And so then once you've made those 3 calculations, then take those and rank them. And remember, we're trying to rank them from most expensive to least expensive. So you'll see it goes CF11, AB14, D25, BR54, and AB12. So that would be the first option. Okay, so that's the end of this video. We've taken you through 5 real numerical reasoning test questions. You've got an exposure to some of the most common tricks and tips that SHL and other test providers are likely to play on you. Been exposed to things like exchange rates, to special discounts, to varying currencies and all that kind of stuff. And if you need more practice, and definitely more practice will be better, perfect practice makes perfect, head on over to gradtest.com.au where you can take a free full-length SHL practice numerical reasoning test. And if that doesn't satisfy you, you can kick on with a subscription where you can get access to 150 practice questions. That's also at gradtest.com.au. If you've got any questions, comments, or need any help, more than happy to help you. Just drop me an email, tim@gradtests.com.au. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good day.